Thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. I have some really exciting news. It's twofold. The main purpose of this video is to share with you a new piece of legislation that came out this month to address some of the red tape around a loan forgiveness program for veterans and make it an easier, more streamlined process. And I'm going to get into that. But then I realized there's probably a big amount of folks out there that have no clue even about this program. It's called Public Service Loan Forgiveness. Public Service Loan Forgiveness. I've never heard of it until now. So that's why I want to share that with you as well. That's the second piece of this video. But I'm going to front load it with the little blurb on what that program actually is. So with that, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Each thumbs up helps push it further into the hands of those that need it. If you're not a member, consider joining. It really does help the channel a lot. I really appreciate it, and it helps me to find you quicker in the comments. So, jumping back into it, Public Service Loan Forgiveness. I will preface this with many former military members, veterans, end up working for the government or nonprofits in certain realms and so forth, and really this is where this program dovetails into. Now, don't be fooled by the name that or by the first sentence here. There is a program for 100% rated veterans. That's not this one. There are programs out there for a program out there for a 100% veteran to eliminate student loan debt, right, for federal student loans. So don't click off of this when I read this first sentence, because that's not what this is. All right, so jumping into it. Federal student loan. This is where people would think that's what I'm talking about. So federal student loan borrowers are eligible for PSLF, Public Service Loan Forgiveness, a loan program that forgives the remaining balance of your loans after you work for a qualifying nonprofit or government agency for 10 years and make 120 qualifying monthly payments. So, if you're making the minimum payments and it's drug out and you had some sort of enormous student loan debt and you're working for a qualifying nonprofit or government agency for 10 years and you made those qualifying monthly payments, then you could utilize the Public Service Loan Forgiveness to get the remaining balance of your loans forgiven. So with that, let's jump over to the piece of legislation here and go from there. Again, this just came out this month, and this is from the U.S. Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs. And it says here in the headline, Senators Moran, Cortez, Masto introduced legislation to make it easier for service members to access loan forgiveness. Wednesday, October 4th, 2023 is when this came out. U.S. Senators Jerry Moran and Catherine Cortez Masto introduced bipartisan legislation to cut through red tape and make it easier for current and former military service members to access the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. This program forgives student debt for qualifying public servants, including teachers, firefighters, and military service members. In 2021, the U.S. Department of Education announced they would automatically count military members' service toward the PSLF program, instead of requiring them to go through a lengthy and complicated certification process. However, the change was never implemented because the U.S. Department of Education and the U.S. Department of Defense failed to finalize a critical data sharing agreement. This bill would require the Department of Education to complete a data matching agreement with the Department of Defense, enabling automatic credit toward PSLF for military service members. Now there's a quotation here, and it states, "The men and women of our military selflessly serve their nation, which entitles them to these benefits," said Senator Moran. Streamlining the process to access loan forgiveness will help our military members receive the earned benefits and help them achieve financial freedom. Next quotation here. "We would be making it easier for service members and veterans to get their loans forgiven after serving our country," said Senator Cortez Masto. "My bipartisan legislation will remove barriers that are keeping too many military members and veterans from accessing benefits they've earned. Another quotation here. It can be surprisingly difficult for service members and veterans to have their military service honored for credit when working toward public service loan forgiveness. While the Department of Education announced plans to work with the Department of Defense to give borrowers automatic credit towards PLSF for their military service, those efforts have stalled, said Justin Hochschild, Policy Counsel with Student Veterans of America. The bipartisan Ensuring Military Access to Higher Education Benefits Act of 2023. So there's the full name there. So as you reach out to support this, you would want to make sure that you reference Ensuring Military Access to Higher Education Benefits Act of 2023. I will put that in the description as well. Put this initiative back on track by requiring DoD and the Education Department to share existing information so borrowers receive automatic credit towards PLSF for their qualifying military service. SVA applauds Senators Cortez Masto and Moran for their leadership on this common sense legislation to ensure military borrowers get the PSLF credit they have earned. Next, here, just wrap up sentence. The legislation is endorsed by the Student Veterans of America and Veterans Education Success. The full bill and text can be found here, and then there's just a hyperlink. So, again, I believe that many people have no clue about this and may have qualified for it at some point. It's good to have this information. It's good to know what's out there because, as you all know, there are so many different types of benefits and programs and veteran-specific things out there that it's almost impossible to get them all under one umbrella so you can understand and get to all of them. I'm doing the best I can to highlight and share everything that I can come across. And then we have things in the states and everything. So just wanted to make sure that you are aware of this. So again, it's kind of twofold. One is if you agree with this type of legislation to get this back on track and make it a little more streamlined for veterans, then you want to make sure that you endorse it, reach out to your legislators and let them know. Ensuring Military Access to Higher Education Benefits Act of 2023. And then also just bring in your awareness to the program itself, the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. And again, I'll wrap it up with that little statement that it is about here. So federal student loan borrowers are eligible for PSLF, a loan program that forgives the remaining balance of your loans after you work for a qualifying nonprofit or government agency for 10 years and make 120 qualifying monthly payments. So with that, we'll go ahead and conclude it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.